B-17 Fortress of the Sky. Chapter 1, The Sound of the Fortress. The sound comes first. Four engines, heavy and deep. The heartbeat of a machine built for war. It's a sound that once filled the skies over Europe, rolling like distant thunder. For those who lived through it, the sound of the Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress was unforgettable. It meant power, it meant protection, and for thousands of men, it meant survival. But before it became a legend, before it became the symbol of American air power, it began as an experiment, a dream of engineers who believed that one airplane could change the course of war. In the mid-1930s, the world was changing. The Great Depression had broken economies, but the drums of war were growing louder. Across the oceans, nations were rebuilding their militaries, faster, stronger, deadlier than ever before. In the United States, Boeing was working on a secret project, a massive four-engine bomber unlike anything seen before. They called it the Model 299. It could fly faster than any pursuit plane of its time, climb higher, and carry more bombs than any aircraft in existence. On its first test flight in 1935, it took off from Boeing Field in Seattle. Smooth, stable, graceful. Reporters watching that day were stunned. One of them wrote, "It flies like a fortress in the air." And just like that, the name stuck, the Flying Fortress. But the road to greatness wasn't smooth. Only months later, the prototype crashed during a test flight, killing two of Boeing's best pilots. Many thought the project was doomed. The Army turned instead to smaller, simpler bombers, the twin-engine B-18 Bolo. But the engineers at Boeing refused to let the idea die. They improved the design, refined the engines, strengthened the frame, and made the Fortress even more formidable. By 1938, the Army ordered a small batch of B-17s, just 13 aircraft, for testing. No one could have imagined how important they would become when war erupted in Europe in 1939. America was still neutral, but military observers were watching closely. The early campaigns showed the devastating power of air superiority and the need for long-range bombers. The B-17 was exactly that, a range of over 2,000 miles, a top speed of nearly 300 miles per hour, and room for 10 men, pilot, co-pilot, navigator, bombardier, radio operator, and 5 gunners. It was an airplane designed not just to attack, but to defend itself, with up to 13.50 caliber machine guns bristling from its nose, tail, and belly. When the United States entered the war in 1941, the Flying Fortress was ready. From the airfields of England, squadrons of B-17s would soon fill the skies, massive formations stretching for miles, sunlight glinting off aluminum wings. Each one carried thousands of pounds of bombs, and 10 men who knew they might never come home. As the engines roared and the wheels left the runway, they were flying into history, and the world was about to witness what true endurance and courage look like. Chapter 2. The Dream Takes Shape. The year is 1940. In the quiet hangars of Boeing Field, the sound of hammers, drills, and engines echoes through the steel frames. The world beyond is slipping toward chaos. But here, in these cavernous workshops, America is building something powerful. A weapon not yet tested in battle, but born from imagination and fear. The Flying Fortress is taking shape. Boeing engineers work day and night, surrounded by the hum of machinery and the scent of oil and metal. They are perfectionists, young, tireless, obsessed with detail. Each rivet, each wire, each panel has a purpose. The B-17 is not built for comfort or beauty. It's built to survive. The airframe is strong and light, an alloy of aluminum that can withstand punishment and still fly. Its wings are thick, filled with fuel and firepower. Its fuselage is narrow, a corridor of cold steel that connects the life of 10 men to the machine that carries them. In the nose, the bombardier crouches behind a sheet of glass, surrounded by instruments and sights. Above him, the pilot and co-pilot sit shoulder to shoulder, hands gripping the controls. The navigator plots their path across thousands of miles of ocean and sky. Behind them, the radio operator listens through static and noise, his link between the fortress and the world below. Further back, the gunners stand ready, the waist gunners watching from open windows, the top turret gunner scanning the clouds above, the ball turret gunner curled beneath the belly of the aircraft, encased in a spinning sphere of glass and fear. 10 men, 10 lives, each one dependent on the others. As production increases, so does ambition. The early models, the B-17B, C, and D, are only steps towards something greater. The engineers refine the engines. The Wright Cyclone R 1820S, 9-cylinder power plants that roar with more than 1,200 horsepower each. The airframes become stronger, the guns more numerous, the armor thicker. The B-17E arrives, longer, faster, and deadlier than anything before it. It is no longer just a prototype, it is a fortress, perfected for war. In 1941, America begins preparing for what seems inevitable. The production lines expand, not only in Boeing's Seattle plant, but in factories across the nation. Men and women flood the assembly floors. Workers from Kansas, Washington, and California build the wings and fuselages that will soon cross the Atlantic. They call it the bomber that can bring itself home. Stories spread of fortresses returning with engines gone, tails shredded, wings torn apart, still flying. The name earns its truth long before the first major battle is ever fought. Then comes December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor. The news shocks the world and changes everything. America is at war. Overnight, the quiet production lines of Boeing become the beating heart of a war machine. Thousands of new workers arrive. B-17 roll out of the hangars every day, each one a gleaming silver promise of retaliation. The Flying Fortress, once a symbol of innovation, is now a symbol of vengeance. Across the Atlantic, Britain is burning. The German Luftwaffe dominates the skies of Europe. The Royal Air Force has fought bravely, but losses are heavy. The Allies need help, and soon they will get it. America's coming, and leading the charge will be squadrons of B-17 Flying Fortresses that will soon fill the skies above England.